If you struggle to reach notes on the fretboard when playing chords, scales, or more challenging songs, then you are most definitely approaching the guitar incorrectly. It's not uncommon to use a palm grip when playing open chords, or even a thumb over the neck chord grip for Jimi Hendrix style rhythm parts. However, for the most part, you will need to know how to grip the guitar in a way that enables you to stretch as far as you can with ease. I will break this down in 3 quick steps, followed by a finger stretch test at the end of the video to see if you've been paying attention. The first step is thumb position. The most important factor when attempting to stretch comfortably on guitar is not the size of your hands, it's the correct thumb position. First of all, avoid your thumb pointing toward the headstock of the guitar. A slight angle is okay, but a thumb parallel to the neck will force your wrist into a position that results in restricted and sometimes painful stretches. You will also need to use the correct thumb placement. Although this can change in different playing scenarios, for the most part you will find that the thumb position will be roughly 1 fret higher than wherever your index finger is located on the front of the fretboard. Watch out especially for your thumb being behind your index finger or too far ahead of your index finger. If everything is good so far, then next comes the most important part. This being the height of your thumb on the back of the neck of the guitar. This position can vary and is dependent on the kind of guitar part you're trying to play. If your thumb is at its highest position, protruding above the fretboard, then the contact point will be this section of your hand. In this position, you will have the least amount of stretch. As you require more stretch, your thumb position will need to drop. The maximum amount of stretch you can achieve will be at the lowest part of the neck, and at the extreme on the bottom face of the neck, touching the side of the actual fretboard. When you drop your thumb to its lowest position for maximum stretch, it's important to let your wrist drop, or you may feel discomfort or even an inability to drop as low as you can. To simulate how this should feel, you can use the tennis ball method. Hold your fretting hand out in front of you with your palm facing upwards, and pretend to hold a tennis ball. Now bend your wrist so that you can see the top side of the tennis ball. In doing this, you have not only dropped your thumb to a height that will allow you to play at an optimum position for most guitar parts, you will also notice that your wrist has dropped into the perfect place to allow for most stretches across the fretboard. The next step will give you that extra stretch you need for the most extreme stretches across the fretboard. While in the tennis ball grip, you will find that your thumb position falls almost exactly at the center line of the back of the guitar neck. To achieve the most stretch, you need to shift your entire wrist and thumb position down below this line. Avoid only moving your thumb. Instead, push or extrude your wrist forward beyond the fretboard plane so that your wrist is in front of the guitar instead of below or behind. It's important throughout any step covered in this lesson that your elbow is parallel to your forearm and not pushing away from or into your body. All movement should be made by your wrist and the forward-backward motion of your arm. If you've mastered all these points and want to put your maximum stretch to the test, then try this. First, fret the G note located on the low E string, 3rd fret, with your index finger. Hold the neck of the guitar with your thumb protruding above the fretboard. In this position, you will have the least amount of stretch. Now place your 4th finger on the low E string. You will find that at most you will only manage to stretch 2 to 3 frets higher than your index finger. Now slowly drop your thumb, and as you do so, start to slide the 4th finger further away from your 1st finger, creating a bigger distance between the two. Keep going until you achieve the most stretch possible with your thumb ending up at the bottom side of the fretboard. It's helpful to think of this as a spread of the fingers instead of a stretch. For the scale length of this guitar, my limit is the 10th fret, maybe the 11th at most. When you've reached your personal limit, move your 4th finger to the opposite E string by slightly rotating your wrist. And now try to fret and cleanly play both notes at once. If you can do this fairly comfortably, then you have most likely followed all the steps in this lesson correctly. Give this video a like, share, and leave me a comment to tell me your maximum stretch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.